Good morning, Mathlete Commanders. It is Friday, October 11th, and I'm having a problem. So it's the second week of classes, and I've realized that I have lost all motivation to do anything, except play video games. Like, yeah, I got all my sets done, and I did everything I had to do, but there also was not a day this week where I did not play more than like 4 hours of video games, so oops. I play World of Warcraft, or WoW, and for those of you who don't know, that's one of those MMORPGs, a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, and it's like super addicting because there's so many things to do. Like, you know, in a normal video game where there's like one big storyline, and once you finish the storyline, you just sort of like, you can run around and sort of collect things, but you're done with the game. But no, I could spend 10 years on WoW and never be done playing because they come out with new stuff all the time and they like make new areas and there's just so much stuff to do. There's like 4 or 5 different continents in this world and each of them has like a crap ton of quest lines which you can do. And then if you group up, you can do dungeons, which are like groups of 5 people, or you can do raids, which are groups of 25 people. And then there's lots of like achievements that you have to try to get and things to collect, like mounts, like stuff you fly around on, or battle pets. I'm really into battle pets. You go and you find something in the wild and you're like, man, I really want to tame that. And so you have your pets go and fight it and you have to like capture it. It's exactly like Pokemon except with less weird animal names. I actually got started playing WoW about 1.5 years ago. One of my friends sent me a free trial for my birthday and was like, hey, you should play this for a month and see how you like it. And then you can decide if you want to keep playing. And it was third term and I didn't have much to do, and so I was like, alright, yeah, let's play this. And oh my god, I can't stop. It was always like a really fun way to pass time when, you know, I'm doing something that doesn't require my full attention, like watching TV or something. And when my 2 friends moved to Seattle, I could still like Skype them and play the game at the same time, so it was a really good way to stay in touch and still talk to each other often. But then those 2 decided to go and get engaged and now are busy planning the wedding and don't have time to play with little old me anymore. And so now it's just me playing video games by myself all the time. And recently, this isn't helping the matter, but I got promoted within my guild. That's probably the nerdiest thing I've ever said in this vlog. So you have the option of joining a guild, which will get you lots of things, like you have extra bank tabs and you can buy things from them, and you can like get together in groups to do achievements and stuff like that. So I've been playing with this guild for about 8 months, and then about 2 weeks ago, the guildmaster posted a message that was like, hey, we're looking for 2 young members who are ready to take a leadership role in our guild and like schedule events and do things. And at the time, I wasn't in school and I was like, yeah, I could totally do that. So now 2 to 3 times a week, I get to schedule guild events. And let me tell you, it is super awesome. My guild is really hilarious, actually. It's so much better when you're playing the game in a group. And we have this voice chat program that allows us all to talk with each other. And like, some of them are really funny and like really interesting people. I'm actually way younger than most of the people in my guild. I totally thought that video games like this were something that like high schoolers and just college people did. But no, all of these guys are like 30 plus. And so this one Australian guy, he would just call me that young deaf knight. So it's kind of weird because they have like real jobs and stuff and I'm still in college, and like the other day my door was open and someone ran down the hall screaming and they could hear it on my microphone. It was like, what was that? And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, someone in my hall is screaming. And they were like, oh, are you in college? College. That was a good 20 years ago. Fun times. And I'm just like, wow, this is a much different demographic than I was expecting. Also, for about the first week and a half, they thought I was a dude. My character is a dude, and his name is male. And so when we were just typing, they would always refer to me as he, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, that's my character's name. And then the first time we did voice chat, apparently my voice didn't sound like girly enough to make them think I wasn't a dude. So instead they just thought I was like a middle school aged male with a really high pitched voice. So they kept referring to me as he, and I didn't particularly have a problem with it, and sort of by the time I figured I probably should say something, it was too late to say something. And so then today, we had this really awkward conversation where we were in an officer's meeting, because I get to go to cool things like that now. One of the guys said like, oh hey, now that you're an officer and we're gonna like, you know, spend a lot of time talking to each other, what's your real name? And I was like, oh, well, it's Susan. That's probably gonna give me away. And there was just this dead awkward silence for like 10 seconds. Where no one said anything. And then the conversation just sort of switched topics really quickly and we just went off in another direction. And then later, one of the officers had to pull me aside in a private chat and be like, hey, sorry we called you a dude for so long. We really didn't know. And I think they totally thought I was gonna be so offended that I was just gonna leave, and I was like, it's totally fine. But it was pretty funny. So yeah, that's my exciting life news for the week. Being promoted in my WoW guild would probably be the most exciting thing to happen to me this month. Except for the fact that Garms is now officially my roommate. So she'd been living here over the summer, but since she wasn't technically a member of my house, she had to move back into her own housing for the regular year. But then my roommate from last year, Allison, decided that she wanted to live like off campus for the year. And so my room was open, and I was like, you know, it would be great if Garms could stay here. Except she's not technically a member of this house, and so we had to go through this really long, drawn-out process of opening the room up to anyone else who might want it, and luckily no one else decided to take it. And then we had to wait for all the frosh to come so that we could get quorum and like have enough people at our house meeting to vote her in. But yesterday she was officially voted in as a full member of Reddick House, and so now she is officially my roommate for senior year. Everybody get excited. So for all the Mathletes, I'm Susan. For the Filmmakers, Caitlin will be back on Wednesday. Everybody else, have a great weekend.